Dulu guys. Kopi hitam, thank you abangku. Makasih abangku. Sambil tetek air dulu ya. Kopi hitam, makasih abangku. Makasih abangku. Berkah selalu abangku. Makasih abangku. Dulu guys. Yuk, jalan yuk. Sosok tunggu keris di mana bang? Sosok tunggu keris bang. Assalamualaikum fil alamin kun rabbuna nurul zakib. Di mana bang? Oh, halo. Assalamualaikum fil alamin ya khadul muhadam. Bang kopi hitam, thank you ya bangku. Berkah selalu, murah rezekinya selebel. Nanti malam kita request main di mana nih bang kopi hitam. Tapi astagfirullahaladzim, anjir. Tapi jam 10 malam kita udah stay ya. Jam 10 malam kita udah stay. Stay kita main di apa namanya? Main di ini mau nggak? Asrama Panti Jompo. Sawit balap, thank you bang. Sawit balap ya. Sawit balap enggak tuh? Hancur Main di ini mau enggak? Mes Panti Jompo. Mes Panti Jompo tuh bagus juga tuh. Nanti aku bawa ghoster wanita. Nanti aku bawa ghoster cewek kalau kalian mau. Ghoster ceweknya nih bisa mediator juga, bisa kemasukan jin juga. Bekas apa? Ini bekas kolam kali bang. Mungkin bekas kolam kali ini. Maka dari itu udah terbengkalai seperti ini bang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya hodam hodam, ya hodam muruh, ya hodamul gaib, ya hodamul jasad, ya rizalul gaib. Sirzat sifat wujud tunjukkan eksistensi kalian yang berada di tempat ini. Ada hantu di kolam tuh. Hantu apa bang? Aku mati kasih dulu ya. Kelelawar bang, lewat sini bang. Kelelawar. Hello. Uish. Saya mending lo ya. Nama produk aktif mengikuti. Oke. Dua gitu. Hancur ya. Hello. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Explore-nya jam 10 bang. Explore-nya jam 10 saya bang. Explore-nya jam 10. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kun Rabbuna Nurul Zakim. Ya khadam. Pembatasan hadiah syarat telah hasil mungkin merek produk layanan pembatasan akan dihapus dan menang produk keranjang. Siapa tuh?
Kita mendeal kan settingan. Nanya untuk buang.
Mana bukti dong.
Ngomong.
Daman dia tuh kau blokir dia ya, pukul dia.
Anjing kau, kita real kau. Aku lapor kau, besi kau ya.
Marah. Kalau misalnya emang yang ngapain dong marah-marah.
Dah lain.
Anjing kau.
Orang azan.
Lapor besi kau.
Rakyat Indonesia.
Blokir ya.
Sial kau.
Bodoh dia tuh bodoh.
Mabuk. Nang apa kau dulu?
Gua bikin video.
Nah, blokir apa nih?
Sial.
Kejut aku mana nih? Allah.
Ada adik ni.
Ngapa dia? Dia mana aku kenapa?
Setting nak. Ini kau ni. Ini setting kan.
Dia bilang apa tuh? Muksan. Suruh pembuktian ya, Man?
Tidak lah, kita kecil. Dia sebut lah.
Apa kata dia? Terkejut aku. Kira aku ada orang di sini.
Sial, itu kan real bukan bohongan ni. Makanya nonton dari awal.
Terkejut aku. Kopi hitam. Kejut saya.
Anjing.
Apa akun dia, Man?
Apa mana?
Mana tengok foto lu, Man?
Kita real.
Suruh ini pembuktian.
Ya.
Mana foto dah? Untuk foto lo ya. Aku nak membatas nak, buat kejut aku. Nak membatas sana. Kita rungkat dulu, guys. Bentar, guys.
Shadi Al-Masri was due to have arrived in the UK on Sunday for 3 days of talks in Birmingham, Bolton and Ilford. Now, last week on this show, I told the Home Secretary, Shahbaz Mahmood, not to let him enter the country, highlighting just some of his radical views. The October 7th massacre by Hamas, saying the people of Gaza finally punched back. You can see his full tweet on the screen there. He also seems to indicate that Hamas, of course a banned terrorist organisation in the UK, has a morality to their resistance. For once, the government has listened to us. Mahmood today revoked Al-Masri's travel authorisation. It's not the first time we've stopped a radical Islamic preacher from coming to Britain. In February last year, the Home Office blocked Mohammed Hoblos from giving a series of talks here after we revealed that he's previously claimed that while all sin is wrong, it was less of a sin to be a paedophile than to miss prayers. Well, I'm joined now by the Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Foundation, Dr. Alan Mendoza. Great to see you as ever. Dr. Alan, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Right, well, I mean, this is one down, I suppose. He's not coming.
Well, it's a good thing, Patrick. Great campaigning from you to actually have put that to the Home Secretary and explained exactly what he was doing. But yes, it is good news because often in the past these people have been let in, and for the Home Secretary to be using her powers, the powers she's able to do legally, to stop extremists from coming, can only be a good thing for the UK. So I think we should all be very happy that this man is not being allowed into the country.
The wider point here, obviously, is that presumably he was going to sell out wherever he went. And this is it. When you see these preachers, you think, well, who's going to watch them? And that implies to me that there's a lot of very radical people right here in Britain.
Well, I think an investigation needs to happen into the people who invited him. What on earth were they thinking? Who are they? Why would they bring a man who the Home Secretary has rightly banned from the country into the country? It seems to me an extraordinary move to have made. And yes, obviously they did it because they thought there was an audience for him in the UK. And sadly, we can see there is an audience for people like this. I mean, you're going to be covering the West Midlands police story shortly, and you can see that there is a growing population, sadly, who clearly have views that are different to most of the rest of the country.
Well, also, I mean, as you will be well across, obviously, that story at 10 p.m. about West Midlands Police just shows how absolutely, it just completely in hock with aspects of the Muslim community, whether they're in fear of them, I don't know, but, you know, certainly it just seems utterly mental to me that the amount of times that the police, specifically West Midlands Police, have deliberately bent over backwards at the expense of everything and everyone else to appease the local Muslim community. And you look at this guy who was going to be here. If we hadn't highlighted it, you know, no one would have known he was coming. There's every chance he would have been here. You know, we get lucky by finding some of these people. We see a post on social media and we look into them, we think, but it just begs the question, how many of these people are allowed to wander into Britain and give these talks in places like Birmingham, Bolton and Ilford every single day?
Well, that's the thing. We've got no idea. That's the big problem here. So we've got ghettoized communities who clearly want to hear this kind of message. As you say, you got lucky with this one because you managed to see some kind of social media hit that enabled action to be taken. But the reality, sadly, is that there's probably many who are going under the radar because, you know, they may not even be advertised on social media. It may be a word of mouth issue along those lines. And here's the problem. We just don't know enough about what's going on, and that tells you that integration in this country is at a crisis point.
Can I just get you quickly, actually, just on that West Midlands Police story? I'm sure you're across it. We are covering it at 10 p.m. I mean, it's absolutely astonishing. But, you know, I suppose one of the standout lines there is that the police were prepared to sit on evidence about armed Muslim gangs who were actually going to pose a threat to the Maccabi Tel Aviv football fans. They managed to spin it as the other way around. I mean, they are accused of lying and fabricating evidence. You are obviously, you know, a prominent member of the Jewish community as well. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's insanity for anyone who's not an extremist Muslim in the UK, because, of course, these people wish everyone ill who's not like them. So it's a very simple, including, of course, other Muslims. So the reality is the police have taken an insane decision here to side, if you like, with the people who want to cause social discord, who want to bring violence onto the streets, rather than everyone else in this country. So I don't think we should look at this as, you know, kind of an Israel v, kind of local community issue. This is an extremist Muslim v everyone else in the UK issue, and the police have made a catastrophic decision here. Yeah, catastrophic. Now, look, thank you very much, Dr. Allen. Always a pleasure. It's Dr. Allen Mendoza there, who is the Executive Director of the Henry Jackson Foundation. Now, if you are just wondering a little bit about what we're banging on about here about West Midlands Police, give it 10 minutes, I'll explain the whole thing for you, but it is absolutely devastating. Now, GB News did approach the Global Relief Trust, which is the charity that organised Dr. Al-Masri's talks. They have not responded to us. Dr. Al-Masri told us, I agree with the Home Secretary that there is no place in the UK for hate and extremism, which is why a lot of people are saying that this will all be overturned. Insiders are saying they're embarrassed by the decision. My message has always been about compassion and connection. I never said a word about England. I love England. Lived there for 4 years and I'm excited for my next trip back. Well, hopefully you'll be waiting a very long time, my son. Anyway, coming up at 10 p.m. There are calls this evening for the entire top brass of West Midlands Police to be sacked, and I absolutely agree with them. A devastating story for you, but before that...
paves the way for the legal framework under which British, French and partner forces could operate on Ukrainian soil.
It's the big breaking news of the day, really, this. British boots will be on the ground in Ukraine if there's a peace deal. That's next.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello, everyone. Patrick Christie is here. GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
Will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Patrick Christie's Tonight. Now, as you've been hearing here on GB News this evening, Britain will deploy boots on the ground in Ukraine as part of a proposed ceasefire deal backed for the first time by the United States. Let's just remind ourselves of what Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said just a couple of hours ago.
Alongside President Zelensky and President Macron, we went even further today. We signed a declaration of intent on the deployment of forces to Ukraine in the event of a peace deal. This is a vital part of our iron-cast commitment to stand with Ukraine for the long term. It paves the way for the legal framework under which British, French and partner forces could operate on Ukrainian soil, securing Ukraine's skies and seas and regenerating Ukraine's armed forces for the future.
Some more detail for you on this now. The United States would be expected to oversee the ceasefire, provide intelligence and logistical support, and step in to back European forces if Russia launched an attack, which, the more you think about it, might explain why there has not been a huge amount of condemnation for Venezuela in recent days. I'm joined now by former advisor to President Zelensky, Igor Novikov. Mr. Novikov, great to see you. Thank you very, very much. A lot of people in this country will be very concerned about the idea of British boots on the ground in Ukraine. Why should we send our boys and girls over there to be in harm's way to protect your borders?
Well, first and foremost, let's try and read beyond the headline and actually understand the substance of what's been agreed today. First and foremost, it's a preliminary agreement, so you have to understand this. So it's only after any peace deal is reached, and the chances of that happening are not 100% in the most positive scenario. But also, it's important to realize that the British boys and girls, as you said, they will be stationed far away from what used to be front lines, and they will not be taking part in any active combat. And to be honest, I mean, I don't think it will come to a scenario where there will be a direct engagement between, the Western troops and the Russian troops on Ukrainian soil. I mean, there are chances of that happening, in this day and age of uncertainty, but definitely not in Ukraine.
Well, I do wonder what
Eastern Ukraine, which is where the Russians are. Western Ukraine is where, the British and the French and the other troops will be, and there's going to be about 1,000 kilometers separating them.
Okay. I just wonder why we're doing it, because either Putin is a complete lunatic who will not stop at Ukraine and will rampage all the way through Europe, or he isn't. And if you're saying that if we put British troops in Ukraine, there's not really any chance of him threatening them, then it makes me wonder how much of a lunatic you really think this guy actually is.
Well, look, you have to understand what's going on, first and foremost. So at the moment, because there's a lot of effort from the United States to push for that peace deal from the Trump administration, Europe, Britain, the United States and Ukraine are trying to reach an agreement, find that common ground to put on the table in front of Putin. Now, there are two things unsolved as of yet. That's the territorial question that everyone keeps mentioning, because Putin wants, Ukraine to withdraw from certain areas that we control. And secondly, the terms of boots on the ground and security guarantees. So what's happening now, we're trying to reach an agreement quickly, put it in front of Putin, and see whether his intentions are real. Now, I don't want to be a judge of, that schizophrenic dictator, but I can tell you that, the chances of him being genuine, honest, and wanting peace are close to zero. So I wouldn't worry about, what's being agreed today too much just yet.
Just very, very quickly, Igor, sorry, like a few seconds really. Do you think that Putin would agree to anything that involved British troops on the ground in Ukraine?
He will have to at some point.
Okay, all right, interesting. Look, I would love to get you back on, actually. I have a bit more time to talk about this. I do really appreciate you coming on and taking the time for us today. And I think maybe giving us a little bit of perspective on what was actually signed, because it's a declaration of intent, isn't it? Maybe it's not quite as black and white as we thought. Igor Novikov there is a former advisor to President Zelensky. Right, coming up at 10 p.m. This is absolutely huge, this story. West Midlands Police didn't tell us that armed gangs were planning on attacking Israeli football fans. Instead, they basically blamed the Jews. They also stand accused of fabricating evidence in order to ban the Maccabi fans, consulting mosques that have apparently hosted anti-Semitic preachers there in order to make their decision. So why did West Midlands Police cow to pressure from the Muslim community? This is a story as old as time in this country, and we're going to have a very, very serious conversation about it. I have got some absolutely remarkable clips for you of stuff that was said in a Home Affairs Select Committee meeting today. You have never seen a police force be outed in the way that they have and squirm as much as they have. So I'll have all of that and, of course, all of tomorrow's newspaper front pages in just a few minutes.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good evening. It's time for your GB News weather forecast coming to you from the Met Office. The cold weather continues as we go through the next 24 hours, and there's also some wet, wintry weather around, but actually A lot of the rain across England and Wales at the moment, that is going to push its way southeastwards, and it's going to clear through as we go through the rest of today and overnight. So some outbreaks of rain, maybe some sleet, some hill snow for a time, but then turning drier and clearer across many parts of England, Wales and also Northern Ireland. Scotland, though, it's a different story. Snow continuing to pile in, particularly across northern parts. Snow building up further as we go through the rest of today and tomorrow. It is going to be a cold night, not quite as cold as some recent nights, but with clear skies following the rain, well, it is again going to be frosty and icy in places. A few showers to watch out for as well as we go through the early hours of tomorrow morning and through tomorrow morning itself across parts of Wales, central England. There could be a few showers and these could be a bit wintry at times. Elsewhere, lots of bright sunny weather, but like I said, some ice to watch out for and some harsh frosts in places as well. Across the northern and central parts of Scotland, cloudier here, but continuing with that snow, which is why those snow amounts are going to continue to build up as we go through tomorrow as well. Also worth noting that it is going to be windy towards the northeast of the UK, windier than today, and that's going to add to the cold feel, which is going to make it feel pretty chilly indeed, despite the fact that for many there'll be a lot of dry, sunny weather around as we go through the bulk of tomorrow. Temperatures still a little bit below average for the time of year, touch up on today, but factor in those strong gusty winds. Then as we go into Thursday, our attention turns to an area of low pressure which has been named Storm Goretti by the French Met Service. It's going to bring some wet and very windy weather to parts of the south and southwest, and then as we go through later Thursday and into Friday, well, it's likely to bring some significant and disruptive snow, particularly to central parts of the UK. We're staying up to date with the warnings. Bye-bye.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello from the Aurora Collection Resort here in Lapland. We're on an amazing Arctic adventure to celebrate our greatest cash giveaway, a simply stunning £85,000. And in 2026, we're giving you the chance to win it all.
For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. The winner may be contacted live on GB News. Week commencing the 9th of February 2026. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dawdney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what...
Ketutupan. Karipai. Wih, bau goyang-goyang semua tuh, Mas. Kaget kan? Guys, lihat mukanya, guys. Mukanya, guys, lihat kayak Cristiano Ronaldo lagi tipes, guys. Aduh. Assalamualaikum, waalaikumsalam. Apa? Ngajedog anjing, milu balik ke. Udahlah, gua mau apa ya, Joy? Apa? Gua sambil babanyok di sini nih. Pegangin Pep,